Tabletop time.
I'm Dave.
I'm Al.
Murray.
I'm Jen.
I'm Jazza.
And we've just had a great conversation with our viewers in our live stream, which is over on YouTube. And we do every week. We live stream. Isn't that cool?
That is.
Pretty sick.
So cool.
Right now.
You really surprised me there. I wasn't ready for the plug, Dave.
What plug?
I thought we were gonna do a plug.
It's waiting. It's literally.
Look, we surprised you, didn't we?
Wow.
Podcast listeners.
Well set up.
There's
Wait, close cap.
They're the podcast listeners now.
The top right corner of the screen displays an image of an American outlet plug without a grounding port, the classic two-plug design that was common in the 80s and 90s.
beneath the
extremely
image.
outdated and
Jazza
dangerous.
is smiling very happily at his joke.
Okay, so
But actually, support us on Patreon because it allows us to continue making the content we make. There are cool perks on Patreon, such as hero NPC raffle thing. Didn't say raffle.
how does it work?
It's basically I choose someone at random, and it's not a raffle at all. And it's definitely not a random selection
I
of
see.
names
Yes.
determined every month.
Gotcha.
It's just, I just look at a list and I pick one. And if that's...
Oh, you don't do
Yep.
the little spinny wheel
And
thing?
you get to create a character with me. Well, you get to submit a character in a form, and then they'll turn up in our role plays, which is
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool.
and
It is
sometimes
like-
they get art, right? In the
the god tier ones,
Yeah,
they get
they
art.
get art.
Currently, Tickle Duck is the
Or
only god, so
sometimes-
he's just getting every month. He gets a new portrait by Alicia.
So
It's not really
if you
sustainable,
want
but
to knock Tickle Duck off his pedestal.
if it's an NPC we all just sort of happen to interact with and love and becomes a crowd favorite, they end up getting art too. And
is that an option?
That has happened.
I didn't know I could do that. I'm going to tell.
Oh.
I mean, it's happened when you. Did that happen? It has happened.
Yeah.
I forgot that could happen.
Yeah.
Your characters, even if the hero could end up with art. Anyway, that's pretty great.
It is pretty great.
So,
You know
yeah.
what's pretty great?
What?
LUCEVERA.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's okay, I guess.
yes.
Oh, I need to actually open my campaign notes.
I'm so ready to adventure you guys. It's been a few weeks.
Oh, if only you knew what happened when you weren't here.
But he doesn't.
I don't.
Mentioned so hard.
I just want to point out, Jen is looking very small.
Just me.
Just like
It's just
like a tiny little
I'm just
frog.
playing Luini. I kind of say my character's
Closed caption.
name.
Jen is very small.
It's just
I just okay. Am I just gonna have
Hi,
closed
Jen.
captions following me?
tiny Jen.
There you go.
That's more fitting.
Really? Yeah, okay. It
Hi,
is
Jen.
more fitting. Hello.
Do you want me to make her a little bit bigger?
Just not too big, please.
Podcast listeners, Jen is now slightly smaller.
This is good use of time.
Nice.
This is great. You guys
right.
can see
Thank you.
behind the scenes.
Now we're going to recap, or are we going to recap?
No, we're
in
gonna recap in
person?
character.
Yeah, I figured. Because I don't know what has happened,
Ooh, that's
or what my
interesting.
voice is.
What is that?
It has been a little bit.
That's Mari's chest.
Oh, never mind.
That's Murray's void. There's a little void in next to Arvin's
Don't
head.
touch my void. It's mine.
It's Murray's void.
That's why he's devoid of all emotion.
Ah, shush.
All the ladies love Murray's void.
Devoid.
Okay, it's time to commence the role play.
Yeah.
Just gonna slide right past that one.
Last session.
let's just go.
Last session in LUCEVERA, we were of course joined by Dragon playing who was a very interesting character who I'm sure we'll meet again. And they had a bit of an adventure, but I don't want to say too much because Lorenzo Jazza was not here. And what they saw and what they encountered could have far-reaching consequences for LUCEVERA as a whole, certainly for their little close-knit group or growing close-knit group. And I'm kind of curious to see how that goes down in person. So we're just going to pick up the session with our party, Leone, Arvin, and Bianca, arriving back to the All Trades Assembly that evening, sporting the injuries that they currently bear.
Oh.
And but
I'm chilling.
before they walk in, I would like Lorenzo to describe. So Lorenzo was kept back to basically catch up on the work that he missed. He's been scribing and working diligently under Dolorosa. But it is now sort of the end of day. You know, you're ready to put pen down. You've finished your work for the day. What are you doing?
How long has he been scribing? How long have they been gone?
They were gone all day. So you've been out at it since dawn till 6 p.m. sort of thing.
Yeah. He's been working as hard as possible. But I think, being honest, the recent travels he had been on probably took quite a lot of energy out of him. So really pushing through his limits to try and keep up with and definitely try and please Dolorosa. But, that's usually a failed mission before it starts anyway. So he tried really hard, but I don't think he was... do you know what? I'm just going to roll it. Yeah, no, he really wasn't doing very well. His concentration faded and whatnot, and she probably lost patience with him a few times. Mm-hmm. But by the end, did the work he needed to do and found himself mindlessly drawing as he usually does. This time sort of recapping his recent adventures, but, pictures of strange creatures with chipped teeth and weird, open, soulless eyes, sort of haunting his, it's almost like the stuff that gives him nightmares. He can unleash it. He can put it down, and he doesn't have to carry that anymore. It's tucked away. Mm-hmm. So he spent the late afternoon scribbling that down, and in some of his colours he had stashed away. And the feather he keeps tucked in his art book. He sort of, by habit, twirls in his fingers as he gets more creative in general. And sometimes, I don't know if it's a trick of light or just something that happens, but it sort of shimmers of different colours, maybe depending on where he's in. But he feels like, to a degree, maybe what mood is based, what he's feeling. But he's enjoying just sort of that reconnection with the thing that gives him peace.
I'm gonna roll.
Okay.
I thought that was poisoned.
And at least once during the afternoon, the sharp rap of a cane across the back of your hand hits you as you are off task drawing, and Dolorosa insists you get back to the important business of drafting.
Yes, mistress. Sorry, mistress.
But at this time, the door opens. Who's going to be walking through the door first? And I'd like you to describe yourself as you enter the room.
Probably someone who isn't on 1 health.
I think Bianca, having lost barely any health, would probably be leading the injured troops back.
Cool.
So I will rather dramatically open the door.
Heads turn as you walk in. A couple of the laborers in the room look up.
She doesn't look injured, but she looks a bit disheveled.
Things out of place.
Her hat's maybe slightly sideways on her head.
What of the feather?
The feather is still upright. The feather is still okay.
Thank
but
goodness.
yeah, her hair's a little. Looks like she might have been sweating a little bit, maybe. Yeah, but she still walks in with the same posture and is and opens the door for the other two to come in as well.
Just sort of stumble in.
Arvin, describe your appearance.
My shirt is in tatters again. That's going to have to be replaced, properly this time. It's sort of looks like someone's just turned it into a crop top at this point.
For a new look.
It's not the latest fashion. It was entirely non-voluntary. And there's, a good few band-aids sort of wrapped around my chest. Otherwise, I'm a bit disheveled. The fact that I'm limping from the back, you probably couldn't tell anything was wrong. But from the front, I look very tired, which is saying something for Arvin.
You got to 1, right?
Yes.
Oof. So there's bandages wrapped around your torso, but they would be, despite the job done, dark reddish brown with thick stains of blood. It's not like bandages that are not They probably in need of replacement
they are
now.
stained. They're
quite
containing
bloodied
everything they
bandages.
need to, but they are stained.
And Leone.
Very similar to Arvin, also wrapped in bandages that are stained now and probably need to be replaced. Leone looks like crap. Just speak shortly. There's also a small crack on one of her glasses lenses as well, and she immediately just like dives in and just like collapses on the floor, still breathing, but just
How much health do you have?
a one.
Oh my! You both have one. Oh my god! What happened?
Lorenzo.
Oh my god! What happened? Yeah, he like stands and is like aghast.
Now, at this moment, by the fact that it's just after 6, just aside from the 2 laborers, there's actually no one else in the common room. Dolorosa is off tending, so you pretty much have the floor.
What did I see of them leaving? Like, I knew I had to stay back and work, but did they leave and meet people and blah, blah, blah? Or did anything happen?
They
in there?
basically left in the morning with Havada to go and follow tracks of
So
someone.
I knew they were going with someone
Yep.
to find or follow
Yeah,
someone.
and you met Havada. You actually know Havada. He's an old friend of the head mistress, guildmaster Dolorosa, but also more importantly of Emily, who seems to be like the warmer side of the relationship. And he visits from time to time. He was a Norstark fellow, which have you even seen him? Surely.
Yes.
Well, there you go. That's what he looks like. He's
Yeah.
not there now. He's actually conspicuously absent from
Yeah.
the group.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were off to find traces of some strange people who were behaving oddly, basically.
I don't know what to say. What happened? You need help. How
I
could
think some of them might need medical attention.
that man who went with you? He was very large. He could have defended you better, perhaps. Or what did you run into?
He did a lot. I will say no one threw up in me this time.
I should have been there. This cannot
I
I
happen.
don't know if.
It was okay.
Yeah.
We managed.
What happened? Who did this?
Goodness, how do we start?
Something very strange and unnatural.
Yes, well,
Please.
I mean, he was weird,
wait.
but
You need to rest. We will get you food. Sit down. Fill
Maybe
me
some
in.
new clothes?
no. Yes.
Let's get them in.
Come into the common room and take a seat. I will be back shortly. Who do I know that would be able to like quickly help like tend to them, or is everyone sort of tucked away? Like, is Amelie around?
Me, probably.
Make a insight. I said insight, didn't I?
Intuition.
Intuition. I did D&D for like 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
This bug flies
got
past
2.
me once more.
2 successes.
It bounced
You
off the
know
windows.
Amelie is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
However, having been here for long enough now, you also get the feeling that this isn't the kind of thing that you would want to get her involved in, because
Okay.
while she can tend, she also over frets, and right now it
Okay.
looks bad. But by the behavior of these people that
Yeah.
you're getting to know, it's not as bad as it looks. Like, they seem to be managing. They've walked here, the
Okay.
band, but you kind of get the impression that bringing Amelie in particular will kind of cause her to get a bit upset and flustered.
Yeah. All right, that's good. That's good to know. I just walk into the kitchen quite simply, and Lorenzo's a big guy. He's had his hungrier days, so he just walks in and is like, Mistress Emily, would you mind? I am so hungry. Would you mind if I have second, maybe third helpings tonight?
With 3 bowls and 3 spoons.
I can help extra in the kitchen tomorrow morning, but I would really like to maybe take the whole pot.
Make it charmed.
Give me everything.
What's my challenge?
3.
I got
You got a sweeping failure.
sweeping failure.
0.
Oh, goodness.
Do I lose a spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have attained unimpressed
no.
Amelie.
The look she gives
Her
you. literally
expression
withers you.
suddenly becomes stern. And she says, Lorenzo, I don't know why you think you need to lie to me.
I
You know, I heard them come through the door and the commotion from out there. Of course you can take food for everyone, but...
I missed it.
Oh, there's a little fly. There's a little like bar fly in the room.
I told you.
But I cannot believe you wouldn't trust me.
I am sorry. I didn't want to. I am sorry.
And then she hands you the
3 bowls.
bowls
or
of
4 bowls.
stew for everyone.
I say Lorenzo gets a flashback to himself screaming, "Oh my god, what happened to you?"
Oh yes,
Where
I did
is-
say it quite loud.
She actually hands you 4 bowls.
Yeah. Okay.
5, including yours.
All right. And I'm like, I scuffle out and like plonk them down on a table before the others.
Yep.
Like, one more moment. And I scurry off. I just go to get some towels and a bowl of water and maybe some fresh bandages.
Cool. You can source all of
So,
that.
yeah.
Although bandages is more like some torn linen.
Yeah, torn rags, that sort of thing. So I basically just trying to get them at least settled so that they can talk comfortably and recover while we catch up. So I guess sort of fast forward around some candle lights in the common room.
Yep, for sure.
So, I mean, take it from the top if you might fill me in. When you left with Avada.
Havada. Yes, well, he was on the trail of essentially what we found out to be a madman. He was a bit delirious.
He was been sniffing something. He was very odd.
Yes, whispering about weird things and
Yes.
led us almost into an ambush, I'd say.
Great taste in laurels, though.
Is that what you took out of that?
Yeah. Oh, the statue, though. Lorenzo, you would have loved it. It's beautiful. It's ancient.
What a
There's no
statue. Where did you...
There's no statue.
There was a statue.
Not anymore.
I feel like I'm missing some
that was
steps
beside
here.
the point. There was a beautiful statue. Havada smashed it, but it was beautiful. So old.
Have you, like, if you skipped ahead a little bit or... So you
Maybe it's not
you
important.
followed...
That was the important.
You followed a man who was a crazy person
Yeah.
Yes.
who was...
Led us to a statue,
Why
and then
did,
we got attacked.
Why did
and
he
we
lead you
destroyed
to
the
a statue? Why did you follow him to a
'Cause he
statue?
thought it was something... Well, it's blasphemous, but, you know,
No.
bigger than a king.
There's critical foundational components missing here. Why did you follow him? Who is he? What is he?
Because he wanted to show us something. The child.
Havada
Yeah,
followed
yeah.
him here.
He was a religious person.
Why was he sought out
So
in the
Havada
first
was going
place?
after them.
Why was he sought out in the first place?
So,
Religion.
there is a rumor that there was a child that did weird stuff. I don't really... And this person could take us to the forest where the child was, right?
to supposedly have our eyes opened.
We
What-
didn't believe him, though. We just thought, well, let's have a look and see what happens, right?
Was Avada trying to follow up this rumor of this child?
Yeah, well, he... I
That's
think
why
he'd
he recruited
encountered-
us.
He'd encountered something similar, and it had been dangerous. And so it followed it to Allegrano because it could impact here as well.
And he wanted company to
Yes.
investigate.
Yes.
You
So-
found a man who was attached to this rumor.
Yes.
He beckoned you to a statue, a grove.
Yes. Where there was another man. This child gives gifts to people, theoretically. And this guy, oh my goodness, had a weird gift indeed.
What was
Not
this?
the guy who led us.
No,
Someone else
the other
who was
guy.
waiting there.
The other
It
person.
was a really big, sharp sword.
You were ambushed.
Yes.
Yes. But hey, we survived. We're here.
Barely.
These,
Look at this.
whoever these people are, these almost sound like cultists. You say they're religious.
Yes, well...
Why would they attack you? For what reason? Because you were
You
investigating?
don't believe?
Oh,
Well, Because we didn't believe also Avada smashed the pretty statue.
Too.
I have an idea. You like drawing, yes?
Yes.
Do you have some paper?
Yes. And
I want
shuffle
to
around.
describe the creature that the guy turned into. So
What
that
if-
you can draw him.
I have an idea.
Bianca's
You
like,
do
"Hush it."
your best to draw what you saw, and you may not be practiced. That's okay. And I can sort of follow that to, and with your help and description,
Okay.
see if I can expound the detail.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to draw a terrible children's drawing of like a crocodile that's like.
You're not even going to try?
Nah, that's what I want to do.
You
Deliberately.
do
Okay.
a deft of hand.
Do any of us know?
If she wants to draw it like a children's
she
drawing,
can
she doesn't have to
draw.
make a check.
Nah, I'll make a check. I'll make a check.
And see how, okay, so deft of hand.
Yep. And finesse.
I'm going to say deft of hand and intelligence.
Is there a spare cheat sheet? Anyone?
Oh, okay.
Spare what?
Cheat sheet.
Oh,
On here.
I mean, you can take mine.
Challenge level's pretty high. Like it's
had
going to be
one.
based on how many you get, but
I got 3.
with 3 successes, you do like a serviceable job. It's not got much artistic merit, but it's the kind of drawing that I'll grade it. If I were to put a bunch of time into drawing something like an hour or two and use an eraser, I could convey an idea very clearly, but it's not artistically got much merit. It's like, but it's very clear. What you've drawn is quite clear.
Okay.
Here you go.
Describe it, I guess.
All right. So I want to make a deft of hand check. I have the feat artistic, which gives me advantage in deft of hand checks when applied with art.
Okay, so you're basically taking the description that you're about to be given and the rough drawing. What's
Yeah.
the description?
I'm trying to remember back. It was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
The group can help.
Yeah.
Why don't you make the roll and I will describe the situation
Sorry,
to you?
I remember
Can-
he was like a crocodile man.
Is my role
like
assisted?
a snake.
Would that
I'm
count as
sick.
assisted?
Yeah, you get an extra dice for sure.
All right, and this has advantage, which means
Yep.
I get to reroll failures
fails.
equal
Yep.
to my tier. Yeah.
Yep.
But they're all
A
successes.
sweeping
well
success.
done.
What's that do? Gain you a spirit? Well, finally you get to do the thing you're good at, which is art.
Yeah, skip +1 spirit.
While
So-
this is happening,
I'm so
Bianca's
glad.
watching Scavo.
I'm so glad that like okay, I did the whole like I'll smash rocks with these people and sort of sucked. At least I'm like I'll
I'll
do a
do
drawing
art.
and it's freaking awesome. Okay, cool.
As these words of this thing start to carry through the air, the mood of the room becomes almost enraptured with your drawing. Lorenzo, there's a sense, a spark within you of like true inspiration. It feels almost weird that as this otherworldly thing is described to you, you're just inspired in a way that like you have that fervor to draw. You're described to you as a man, but encasing the man or wrapping around the man is the form of like a reptile. There's scaled skin writhing up and down its body and a reptilian face, as well as this motif of tattoos coiling around and through this creature, and this large sword being wielded as well. And there is a warm feeling as this drawing comes out of you and this description of this character emanating from your pocket.
I like run my offhand to my pocket. What's in my pocket?
You're not almost as soon as you reach for your pocket and you put your hand in and you feel the familiar objects inside your pocket, there's nothing out of place and nothing is warm to the touch, but you had this sensation as you leaf through your colored chalks and pass over the feather that you toy with in your hand. You just felt this like strange pull that there was a reason to, but it's fine, it's normal, nothing there. And then leaning back, you all look at this fairly exaggerated and artistic version of the man that you fought, but it evokes the feeling
Yeah,
in a really
that's
cool
pretty
way.
much it. Yeah.
Like
Have you
concept
seen it?
art.
You've seen it before.
Well, No, but
Okay,
and
don't show that
I
to
flicked through to
anyone.
a few previous pages of like the pictures I've drawn of our previous journeys.
Goodness, you're documenting this, okay.
Well, I need somewhere to put these experiences, and I feel like there is an echo, a familiarity in these unnerving events.
There was also the statue. Is that worth explaining?
Well, it was a statue with vines on it, really, wasn't it?
Well, it looks like this, and then I want to explain the statue.
Okay.
I get very enthusiastic about pointing out all the details
Oh,
on the
yeah.
statue.
You describe a statue of a form of architecture from the civilization that existed before Lucevera. They're not that uncommon. You've seen them. You've all seen them. But, you know, it was just a statue of a man held together by vines that was crumbling. It had a majesty to it.
I wouldn't show anyone those, okay? You might scare people. We don't want more of this crazy talk going around. We're investigating
I
it,
don't.
not spreading it.
But they're good.
This. Well, that's very kind of you to
Yeah.
say, but
It's true.
it's like
okay.
my diary. Rather than like, oh, today I saw a flesh-eating monster, I draw the flesh-eating monster.
Sure, but diaries are generally private, no?
Yes, and I look around like I would not be sharing this with you if it weren't important. Look at you. You've been hurt. You need to recover, and something strange is going on in Lucevera.
It's very poor timing with the king's celebration coming up.
When is that
Exactly
again?
Sure what we should
In
do.
2 days. So not tomorrow, but the next
Thank
day.
you, mysterious narrator.
It is the King's Festival
welcome.
celebrating the 9th anniversary of his coronation.
What would they have to do with each other unless these people were brewing something,
What would what?
stirring trouble of some sort?
What would
I
what
don't
have to
know.
do with each other?
The festival.
Oh, well,
They were weird. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go sit over here. I don't like how he captured his eyes. He got far too close to me. I'm sitting over here.
it's just a picture of, and it can't hurt you.
I'll close my book.
tattoos were pictures. They hurt me plenty.
I put the feather in that page. I use it as a bookmark, and then I close it up and wrap it. And
You have a feather too. Should display it.
oh, that is private. And I wrap it.
That's
and
his
put it away.
fluffing feather.
Well,
So I'll ask out of character, but like, is there? Would Lorenzo know or anyone else know like the frequency that these religious people have been heard of or seen? Has that increased or changed? Or
No, this is fairly new. Especially in the city, it's new. There's rumors that there's some kooky people out in the like rural areas, but like it's more just people who have an obsession with things that are frivolous, art. You know, they don't want to work; they want to waste their lives, you know, doing all this crap.
Great.
And yeah, but like being violent is not something
Yeah.
that you would have heard of.
yeah.
it's just a bug you.
By the time your conversation is, were you going to say something, Jen, just before?
No.
Okay.
Or if I was, I forgot what it was.
I got the bug.
The
It's good.
you know, while this has been going on, the few pay-by-day labourers have left the building. They weren't paying any attention to you. They just sort of checked out, took their coats and walked away. But about sort of 7 or 7:30, you've eaten, you've done this drawing, you've had this conversation, and the front door to the All Trades Assembly opens, and you see Libero sort of hobble through the front door with a clear weariness to him of someone who's been up and about all day, that's getting very on in years. And he pulls his he's got a soft like bonnet cap, a big fluffy floppy Renaissance hat that he pulls off and
Nice.
wipes some sweat off his brow and hangs it on a little rack at the front and shuffles into the building, carrying his years more heavily than he usually does. And he looks up at you all.
I'll kind of move out the way, kind of assuming he's walking through to give him space.
Hey, Libero. You're looking, well, not much better than me, I suppose.
I look a damn sight better than you all.
What's happened to you?
Sort of give him a wave.
From your corner.
Oh, don't tell me. Did you overcrank it? This looks like the laceration from a bowstring.
I'm not that stupid. No.
That can happen.
Yes, crossbows and bowstrings can be very dangerous.
Oh, right.
It wasn't.
my notes
No.
out.
I would have thought you would know that. They are standard fare for the military.
No, it was a man. He had sharp metal.
It's a little, weary at the moment. You have to
Me too.
excuse me.
happened to
Clear
you?
a space for an old man.
What happened to you?
I've been busy. And my body doesn't deal with it as much. Would you be a good lad, Lorenzo, and fetch me some of Amelie's delicious dinner?
Of course, master.
And he sits down. Like he sat right in the middle of you all.
Here
Just
comes
shuffle
the tea.
Do you normally go out during the day, Libero?
When errands need doing, I do them. I'm still, capable of most things.
Right.
But I will admit, after today, that...
Why?
my fake yawn generated a real yawn.
They can do that.
That my age is finally thank you, Lorenzo.
Yeah.
And he starts eating his soup.
Just stand there awkwardly watching him.
Some sound effects.
He's an old man, so.
Yeah, there's definitely. I'm getting a little worried, if I must be honest. For the future, you see.
Future of
Well,
the All Trades Assembly.
the guild, yes.
My eyes like shift over to Bianca. Like
Holding her notes.
pulls out clipboard.
Red marker?
Why are you worried?
What worries you, Libero?
Well, I'm trying to make a place for Elio and a trade for him, but if the assembly fails before he can become old enough to be apprenticed, or if... And he looks a bit like... He lowers his voice so no one could overhear but those at the table. If nature take its course with me before then I worry for his future.
You are his only guardian?
Yes. I have a dream, and I see it slipping away. It's not really my dream, but it's Ilios. You see, the silly boy, he wants to fly. And that's what I've been working on for so long.
So we've
Solemn
heard.
nods.
The thing is, though, it would seem flight is impossible, right? Man does not have wings. But it's not. Nothing is impossible, not to science. It's just one of the most difficult challenges an engineer could face. And I'm not alone in chasing this goal. You see, and the carpentry guild are working on a device that mimics the flight of birds, flapping wings and canvas, pedals to steer. And the astronomers guild, well, I mean, you all must know. You know they're aiding guilders ever since that Pietre Sancto, his air balloon, when that went in the sky the other year. They're trying to make a guild of balloonists and float in the sky. And the astronomers are obsessed with getting closer to the stars. But they're both idiots. They're fools. They're not thinking clearly. I've come to a few conclusions that they haven't. But I'm not ready to share my revelations with anyone.
Well, if this is a true concern that you feel is coming to a important point, perhaps you need to help the help from people who can help.
That's why I'm talking to you. I'm not so old that my mind is gone. I speak with intent.
Why are you unwilling? Is it dangerous? I've heard Elio's jumped off many roofs.
Oh, he's no more than most young boys. Always into hay bales.
Right.
Look, everything is dangerous, but I am his grandfather. I love him more than anything in the world, and I would see that nothing harms him. There are many dangers in the world, Cavalier, as you all yourself have just seen. And I'd say Ilio has been safer in my care than perhaps yours.
Well,
And
it's not exactly under my care.
he nods to the two, like the people under yours. He nods to the two people with massive wounds on their body.
I have a scratch right here. My one point of health that I lost.
I can see you in your youth and your talent managed to keep the damage to yourself at a minimum.
Man,
Somebody has to be
Libero's got
alive
burns.
to
Well,
return to the crown.
He's got that thing where you're old enough that you kind of, by age, you're afforded a level of respect that people are kind of like no one else could say that.
you get to drop your filter.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
I sort of drag my chair a bit closer to the group. Libero, you're too stubborn to let anything happen to you, and Elio bounces more than anything else I've seen on this.
Well, Celeste. Celeste bounces even better than Ilio.
He makes a good point.
Signor Libero, do tell, how can we help?
So look, I do not expect you to be able to help anytime soon, but just bear it in mind. I think that Ilio's dream, my dream to fly, is one avenue that we could save the guild. If we solve this problem before anyone else, the money, the contracts, people who will wish for our knowledge, for our craftsmanship, we could perhaps become not the old trades assembly, but the world's first aeronautic guild, the guild of flyers and dreamers. And, well, here's the problem. If the other fools get to it first, and someone idiot kills themselves, then the king will stamp flight out faster than we get off the ground. We need to do it properly, and look, if you do care to help me at some point, it's a long road, but I could use all the help I can get.
Has he shared any of his information with me?
You know he's working on
previously?
flight.
Okay, cool.
But he does keep this. He works on other things. He works on work for the guild. He's the only master engineer here. But this one thing he seems to keep a little bit closer to his chest.
Well, if you like, I can stop by before my shift tomorrow and look over some stuff.
Is one of the big difficulties would be the weight of all the wood used in the frames?
That's one of them, yes. Clever thinking, Arvin.
I could look into, I don't know, maybe tempering some of the wood with some chemicals. That could be an idea.
Safely.
I'm going to pull out my drawing book again and flick back to the page where I drew the was it a phoenix that we saw? Like
Yes,
when
phoenix.
because I would have done quite a few different and detailed drawings of them because I remember sort of pointing out that I did that. And just sort of like pulling them out as a reference, but inquiring like, what would it look like if we were to replicate how this works? Is there a way to somehow mimic?
And he stands up, goes over to his desk, like pulls some. You hear parchment folding. He pulls something out. He comes and slides a drawing over the table in front of you, and he says, "This is what would happen. Now you see the bird, beautiful creature of nature. The center of gravity for its wings, its beats, it's off a little." And this, and as you can see, he's starting to get enthusiastic about what he's talking about. This is where those fools at the Carpentry Guild are getting it wrong. We cannot emulate a bird because we are not birds. We cannot flap and fly because we do not have the strength in our arms versus the weight in our body. It's too complicated. We have to make something different, something that only humans would come up with, something better. And I don't need you to come up with the plans for me. It's the making it happen that is a trouble. You see, I also think it's possible that Ilio might be the first one, not Celeste. Because
Why?
he's small, he's light. But if I'm sending my grandson to achieve his dream in the sky, I need to make sure he is safe. So the very first thing I'm working on is what Celeste's been testing. I call it my rigid wing, and it is a way to get down. It's something they don't think about when they launch their balloons to the sky and hope they come down safely. What happens if something goes wrong? And that's what Celeste is testing. That's what we've been working on. It's a rigid wing, so you can dive and glide.
I see. And in fact, when I think back to the bird we saw, it was not flapping. It was simply
And that
flowing.
we can take from the bird. But there is many steps and much work. And now it's late. And perhaps you are... Well, it's not the time. But when you are ready, if you're so interested, seek me out and I will have work for you.
Well, my friends need rest, but I am fit and able if you need hammering of any sort. That is my, default service. And drawing, if you're so inclined.
Well, I would have some questions about the use this would bring. What would you be wanting the flight for? For travel? For observation?
Both sound wonderful. What about just throwing the hearts and minds of humanity to heights they've never seen before, exploring the bounty of the world, and breaching new frontiers of science to further our positioning on this world and figure out why we're here in the first place?
Do you think maybe if we were meant to fly, we would have had wings?
If we were meant to fly, if we weren't meant to fly, why did we grow brains strong enough to think of ways to do it?
To dream is not exactly the same as achieving.
This is a logical fallacy. If we were meant to wear clothes, why do we not grow enough air all over our body?
Well, clothes
Yeah.
are protection. I don't see how
We
flight
created
is protection.
all of these things around us to serve what we dream of. And perhaps this soaring is a step to...
If it's practical.
Royalists always the same. Let me tell you this. If the king 300 years ago did not dream, LUCEVERA would not exist.
Hear, hear. And I may remind you, with all due respect, Monsieur Bianca, it is your duty to observe, not to interfere.
Did you say monsieur?
Bonsoir. He said, monsieur, he said.
Did I? Mr. Bianca?
Monsieur.
Madame.
Madame
Mademoiselle. Lady Bianca. Sorry.
What's Italian for lady?
That is a good question. That I don't know.
Mademoiselle.
Sorry, Trish just said
is
if we were meant to be protected, why am I not a house? If we were meant to get rained on, why did I not evolve a roof?
Madame. That'll do.
Madame.
Or
Madame
mademoiselle
Bianca.
is French.
So,
Well,
Libero sort of gets up for the night,
Senor.
goes over to place his
Senora,
papers
yeah,
back
that's
in the
right.
stack, and then says, think on it.
so other guilds are trying, you said.
Yes.
And if you were the first, it would be a good thing.
It would be
It
very
would
good.
be.
Get
Fantastic.
fame
We-
and funding.
Stability.
Fame
Opportunity.
Fame is not something that I chase anymore. But funding. The roof tiles fixed maybe. And a safe future for my grandson.
That's a dream I could get behind.
Government allowance for renovation, fixing the tiles.
All it would take is one nobleman who sees the value of it, who wishes to tour their lands in a skyship. They would pay, and they would patronize us, and we would be good, secure, happy, healthy, well, and flying.
Well, keep taking one step at a time.
Always.
It would be best if the steps we take, we avoid going into any further conflicts if we can avoid them.
Yes.
You lot are a wreck.
My vote is one step closer to my bed.
Yeah, me
Since
too.
I have recently found it again.
I also have to walk back home, so I may go now.
Oh, I will accompany you.
You don't have to
I will
do
accompany you.
that.
I will not let you-
Don't, no,
I
it's
d-
fine.
completely ignore
You
her
don't.
and walk and open the door.
Okay.
I'm not really walking out on the streets in the dark by yourself.
Okay.
Bleeding and hobbling.
We
I
did just get
escort
attacked.
Leonie home.
Have you ever escorted Leonie home before? No. Okay. So, you travel into the commons.
Because you usually go home like at the end of a work day.
Sometimes she lingers late,
Oh,
but slips out. But usually that's with Arvin, not you being involved in the situation.
yeah. Well, she's
You don't know.
about to die.
You don't. But this is the thing. You don't know how competent and comfortable Leone is in that
No.
situation.
Totally, but she looks like she's about to die. so-
And you take her to the commons.
I'm also feeling very guilty for not having been there to protect them. So.
The quality of buildings and establishments slowly dwindles. While it's still nice because it's Allegrano, you do find yourself navigating Leone navigating you to what you would have worked out by now is basically the poorest part of Allegrano. Borderline what this city would consider a slum, but by other standards is nowhere near. There are crowded buildings and there are people even at late at night lingering outside pubs and conversations in the street, workers who finished and are sort of standing out on the street smoking pipes and having conversations loudly. There's the scents and sights of a labor district, lots of servants and workers going about their day, baskets and everything. And Leone heads to a rather severe-looking not guild house, dormitory house, basically, where people would pay rent or board for a single room. Even out the front, there is make an intuition check.
Me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Got 3.
3. You manage to, with the 3 with your intuition, basically navigate the situation without any encounters, but you see 1 or 2 people that look quite dangerous. You also see, as you get up to this house, like there's a lady standing at the entrance with the way she's wearing her gown and sort of like deliberately loose in certain areas, and the way she's got her stance against the wall. You just immediately clock that she is a prostitute. And is like that kind of activity is happening in this area. It would be considered like a slummy district where a lot of stuff is happening. People doing what they need to do to get by. But you also, with that, kind of know how to navigate it and just kind of slip around and get Leone to her door.
Okay, this is me.
Okay. Well, take care. I'll see you in the morning.
Bye.
And as Leone steps in, like 2 windows down, a chamber pot is sort of held out a window and emptied, and a rain of piss splashes against the concrete.
Oh, lovely.
And the tiles are just like 2 meters to your left.
But it's home.
All right. Good night.
And then you head back. And I'm guessing the 2 of you have just retired for the evening?
Yep.
Everyone has retired for the evening.
Yeah.
Sleepy sleeps.
The following day arrives. All in the comfort of your houses, you may make a long rest.
Way.
Remind me what that does again.
Yeah, what do I do?
Long rest.
It's on your cheat sheet
It
card.
I
is.
gave my cheat sheet to Jess.
Rest and recovery. Long rest. You can sleep, which lets you restore 1 knack or grit, 3 HP, and 6 spirit.
Nice.
Or you can choose recover from injury, which none of you are in the injured status, so it's not relevant. Or you can make 2 short rest actions, which allows you to rearrange abilities, repair your gear, heal, which isn't as healing as sleep, meditate, which doesn't restore as much spirit as sleep, or nap, which is kind of a combo of both, but again, not as much as sleep.
I already have like
Things you want to change.
stuff I want to play. I like it, but there's more stuff. I want to make an active watch action for short rest.
Oh, I like that.
So it actually does something.
Can you write that in a...
Oh, don't worry. It's written down
Is it?
in my brain.
Verbally.
No, I'm going to
in
write
the
it.
video.
I'm going to write it down in...
And on a sheet.
Yeah. And there's going to be, and defining some conditions about what allows for certain long rest actions. Maybe even putting requirements on them so that the fully sleep rest one at long rest requires like a comfortable environment, a safe and comfortable environment, whereas other ones don't necessarily. It's great. It's going to be great.
Cool.
The next morning.
All right.
The next morning.
You're welcome.
That's pretty good. My feathers come alive. Come a rooster.
You are in the morning as you're having breakfast, and Leone has come in for work, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
There is a knock on the door. An attendant opens the door, one of the staffers. And standing in the doorway is a rather generic-looking messenger who looks in the room. Hello?
Is this the assembly? Or
This is at the All Trades Assembly.
Yeah.
Hello. Do you... Is there a Mistress Dolorosa here?
And he looks kind of up and down, a bit confused by the disheveled surroundings.
who's around?
Yeah, we all sort of just present, or
Having
The mistress is over there.
what about us?
You're all there. You're all like it's breakfast time.
Okay.
Basically.
I'm hiding.
Leone's cleaning.
Hiding with my bed hair.
I just look over at Mistress Dolorosa. Did she hear or see?
She strides over.
I am Mistress Dolorosa.
And the messenger says, with a deep bow, handing a scroll that's wrapped and sealed with a wax seal,
Ooh, now I'm interested.
and loudly proclaims enough that the room can hear.
I am from Latigiano della Bestie, and Lord Fausto Scavaro wishes to see you.
And then he stands up tall and turns and closes the door.
Do any of us know?
Do I recognize
I am gonna get you all to make a check. And that check is going to be knowledge,
Oh.
but I'm going to give Bianca advantage.
Yes. What does that mean?
It means you get to reroll 2 failures. Challenge level's 4.
Let's go. Oh, I got it.
Somebody's smart.
Yeah, you've been studying the nobility of
I know
Allegrano.
the fancy people because I'm like, they're stinky.
Oh,
So close.
Wow, so is the only person who knows it Leone? And Leone only knows it due to her time scurrying around the streets as a cleaner. So you are aware not of the Lord, that kind of the piece of the puzzle kind of comes together, but you actually have seen, because it's a really peculiar name, you have seen L'Artigiano della Bestie, which is it's like an old dialect that not as commonly used of the language in Lucevera, but it means the beast artisan. And you've walked past this shop in the high part of it's in the high district in the guild ward. So
The fancy place.
where the royal district is.
Yeah.
Basically anywhere that borders that is like the wealthy part of, so there's the commons and the guild ward, and they both border the monarch's rise, basically the high district.
Right.
But the areas that like border it are also the rich areas. So the guild section isn't like inherently fancier than the commons. The commons has like wealthy housing and stuff up against the royal district. It's just not related to trade. So like a lot of the nobles who live in the guild ward are all connected to the guilds and commerce and industry, whereas in the commons there would be nobles and rich families, but they're more like merchants and, you know,
Sure.
other farmer dynasties of farming, all that sort of stuff.
Alrighty.
So that was a lot of rambling just about some geopolitical nonsense.
Do I know who they are?
So you've walked past this shop multiple times and you've kind of just been enthralled by it because it's really fancy, but inside, displayed in the windows. Never been inside.
Yeah. It's the Gucci Vera.
Pieces of animals that
Oh.
you have never in your wildest dreams seen or imagined.
When you
They're-
say pieces, do you mean?
I mean,
Like taxidermy.
like you have seen in one of the window displays, there is like a shirt like on a mannequin body, and the shirt has these large scales, and
Right.
like it's proclaimed to be supposedly dragon scales. There is like this serpentine head that's like this big, long, massive head with huge fanged maws that's been like taxidermied. There's a unicorn horn. You know, there's a bunch of things in the front of this shop
Does it
that
seem?
proclaim to be from mythical creatures.
I was
or
going to say,
magical
does
creatures.
it
the shop
seem
reputable?
legit? Yeah.
This is
Okay.
in the world of LUCEVERA, and the fact that there's only one of this shop, you assume that it is all legit. You
Yeah,
assume
right.
that this
Okay.
is the beast artisan, basically someone that trades in extremely rare creatures and their things.
And it's owned by a lord.
And it's owned by a noble or a self-proclaimed lord.
Yeah.
Fiona does a
Lord
does a
Faustus
gasp.
Scavo.
She goes,
Do you know that? Do you know who it is? A lord. You know a lord.
not personally.
And the messenger leaves.
Bianca's like slowly sneaking closer.
Dolorosa strides off. An eye, like, you know, that sort of sharp look comes up, and the scroll is like closed more than it was previously closed, and then she walks into her office, and you hear the office door close.
You know of what they speak?
I believe there is a store in the district with the rich people. Don't remember which one. And they sell bits of beasties.
Bits of beasties.
Yeah, like unicorn. Do I know? Do any of these animals actually make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like a unicorn horn and a snake.
So like the kind of
Fangs.
creatures that the king has. Is that correct? In the
yes.
menagerie? Yeah.
That's
well,
famous,
perhaps
isn't
even
it?
more fantasy. Yeah, everyone knows
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
not even the king would have some of like
Even more
similar thing.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly good association,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
some of this stuff, like the king doesn't have a freaking dragon.
It's similar. Yeah.
Right.
And upon hearing this, Arvin, a cog clicks into place, and you're like, the place I've always wanted to be able to afford to buy alchemical regions from, but literally can't
the
because it's so
Gucci store,
fancy.
yes.
But you can only kind of salivate at what potential could be in these things.
Yeah, listening to that, my writing notes as usual, my foot starts tapping a lot harder.
What
want
could they possibly want to do with the old trades assembly?
Have you had invitations like this before? Would she bring people along?
I doubt it.
Jeff
Could
probably
be
not.
have
worth
trouble.
inspecting, though.
Wait, are you trying to weasel your way in? Because I don't think it's going to work.
No. I could be needed. That's all.
The door to Dolores' office opens and closes. She's standing with an overcoat on
I
that
go
she
back to
doesn't
working.
usually wear, looking incredibly upright, and strides towards the front door. And then she says, I will be out for a while.
Good luck.
Like,
Don't be lazy. And she glares at Lorenzo. Door almost slams, not with aggression as she leaves the building, but with the urgency of someone who just
Yeah.
shoots out the door.
did she have the scroll in her
Oh yeah, she had the
hand?
scroll under her arm.
That makes sense.
Cool.
Right. Well,
I mean, you could follow her, I guess, if you cared.
I think perhaps didn't Libero have flight stuff he wanted you to test?
There wouldn't be much point following to kick you out if you don't have the money.
Well, unless
No,
you're
I could have the money. You don't know.
Well,
Wait, you know this place too?
of course I know this place. It's huge. It's famous.
Right, I don't go out much.
Who doesn't know about a shop that sells unicorn horns?
Well, you know, sometimes people exaggerate. I didn't know.
If you don't need a unicorn horn,
And the finest powdered mandrake roots.
And I just like check out of the conversation entirely.
You use this stuff? You use this stuff?
Not me personally. I can't afford that.
But you would use it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh. Well, maybe your mistress will come back with some.
That is a kind thought.
not quite straight away. 10, 15 minutes, finish up breakfast, clean up your stuff, start getting on with your duties. There is another knock on the door.
Can I
Anyone
get it?
close?
Oh, can I
Yeah,
get it?
Leone, you answer the door.
Hello.
And you're face to face with the Cavalier of the Crown.
Oh, great.
Good
There he is.
morning, everyone. How are you all doing?
I know that voice.
Another one.
Oh, what a gorgeous morning in Elegrano.
This one is not like me.
I can tell.
I trust you've been keeping my dearest Bianca well.
Okay, like actual audible head crane over to Bianca.
Tell them I'm not here.
Do you just like...
Audible head crane back around to the front door. She's busy.
Leone, you're the one at the front of the door.
Can I help you with something, sir?
I was hoping to see Bianca.
She's busy.
How do you know Bianca?
So sorry.
How do I know Bianca? Oh, she's a childhood friend. We're thick as thieves. And not only that, we share the best job in the world.
Guys, it's really hard to concentrate with all this yapping.
She's
Oh, I'm
busy.
terribly sorry, sir. And he gives a little bow.
Are you,
Get him off the
are you
street.
sure?
Lorenzo's really trying it.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, and we're best friends. And
I don't want the whole street knowing that I'm here. Bring him in.
Right, yeah,
Oh,
look,
it looks like she has a free slot in her schedule.
I like tying my hair.
He bows and takes his hat off and goes to gesture to put it on a hat stand and starts to walk in. He says, "Thank you so much for your hospitality. Oh, all of you. Sorry for being so loud. I was just enthusiastic. It's a beautiful day. Bianca. Hello.
Hello, and what brings you here?
I am here to check up on you and your very first solo assignment. How are you doing?
Fantastic. It's going great. Yeah.
And what a beautiful little quaint guild hall you've been assigned. There's so much charm oozing off and they have a child too. And Ilio is like running around in the corner. Wonderful, wonderful.
He has someone who actually speaks more than you, Cosimo.
Well, I must meet him someday. I'm sure
it's-
you're having a wonderful
Be a
time.
very
Bianca.
long conversation.
And
I'm
you're
sure.
not done already?
Well, actually, a lot goes on here. They're very busy, as you can see.
Yes, it's been,
Lorenzo
a
is-
week since you checked in? I finished my assessment in 2 days.
Well, you're also very busy with the king's celebration.
what constitutes
to
being
check in.
finished?
Deciding whether the guild is, following protocol and safe.
And you're not convinced yet.
I have some notes to read, but,
Wow.
I like to be extra careful.
Oh, don't worry. It's her first job. She's probably just learning on the go. She's
a
never
lot
done
to
it before.
do.
This is her very first guild. Congratulations, everyone. It's Bianca's first time auditing a guild.
And I'm doing a very good job, aren't I?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Petro. So, anyway, look, the reason I'm here, Bianca, aside from seeing you again, which
Yes.
I've missed you. You haven't been around.
I know.
The garrison?
It's been different around here.
I hope you're having fun. I wanted to say 2 things. One, of course you will be at the King's Festival tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
we are running, just patrolling the streets down in this district, making sure no one tries to get too close to the king, touch his cloak or anything.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Just making sure you know you're on duty.
Yes.
And also, the lieutenant wants to see you.
It's the one problem we have.
Before or afterwards?
Today.
Right now?
Doesn't have to be right now, but I'm sure some point, he's not good in the mornings, maybe wait till the afternoon.
That's wise. Okay.
But yes, he
he wants to see you and check up on how you're doing. You know, a week, it's been a little while. Sometimes audits take a month, especially if it's possible the guild is being shut down by the crown. But that wouldn't be the case here, of course. I'm sure you're
Lovely to see you, Cosimo.
Yeah.
Great.
as always. And your friends, you're making fast friends, I'm sure. Your name is, of course,
This is Arvin.
Arvin. I never forget a face, especially one as fine as yours. And you, young lady who introduced, said hello at the door.
Leone.
Leone. And a wonderful jewel from the south working here now, Allegrano. I hope you're finding LUCEVERA welcoming, hospitable. And you, the studious one who asked me to be quiet, who I'm already offending by talking too damn loud. I'm sorry. Good luck on your studies. I'm sure you'll make a fantastic... And he's like backing out of the door now as he's speaking. He grabbing his hat. Sure you'll make a fantastic guilder. And I'm sure your guild has a long... Fixes his hat. And prosperous future ahead. See you later, Bianca. And then the door shuts in a flurry.
Hurry after him. I just want to speak privately.
Okay.
But I'll go. Sorry about that.
He is insufferable.
Is that her boyfriend?
I don't know. Next time he comes around, we trap him and we interrogate him.
I definitely got sexual tension vibes.
Oh, yeah, me too. It feel icky.
Floating with Arvin.
This is actually good because she's leaving to talk privately.
Yep.
And Lorenzo turns to Leon and Arvin to talk privately too. But
Once Bianca's popped out. Okay, well, we've had a lot of... I was saying we've had a lot of Cosimo, but we can get Cosimo out of the way and come back to you guys, or we can do you guys first. Why don't we do you guys first and we'll come
I
back?
don't think we've had a lot of Cosimo. Cosimo's just a lot.
He is a lot.
Any Cosimo is a lot of a Cosimo. I turn to Leone and Arvin. I'm like, do we really have anything that gives this guild a shot? I mean, if she's been here a week and we have, let's say, up to a month to prove ourselves, we are not even close to breaking even or making a profit.
No, we require a breakthrough in some regard.
Well, everything that has been in progress is falling flat or dead on arrival, but...
True. And plus, we only just got the shipment a couple of days ago, which a lot of people were waiting on to continue their work.
And we didn't even get it in the end, right?
Well, I think the only person that lost out was me.
Yeah. What if we really give Libero's vision a go? I mean, what's there to lose, eh? Like 3 weeks? What if we do... I don't know how I could contribute, but clearly you are a budding engineer.
Oh, of course.
I don't think this place would suffer getting a little dirty in the next few weeks.
I'm always happy to help Libero out. I mean, he helped me, so...
What you said about lightening the weight of the wood.
No, I could definitely get into that. I've been practically sleeping in. I could go back down to 5 hours sleep a day. Yeah, I could totally join in.
And, I mean, I am no engineer, but perhaps with your help and descriptions, we could... I mean, we worked well with the statue. You had an idea, you describe, and I make it happen. I can do that, but more boring drawings.
Yeah, well, if we could at least show concrete progress. Concrete is on the list of things to invent as well.
The kites, I'm sure kites exist, right?
Yeah, kites are one of the few things that exist.
This is like conceptually not that far from what we are trying to achieve. A kite, but one without a string.
On a bigger scale.
That can be controlled.
You get the sense that Libero has a very strong plan on the actual invention of the flying machine, being the master engineer here. But I'm excited to see you getting ahead of yourselves as a group, which makes sense because people would get ahead of themselves. It's going to be sorely disappointed when he's like, good, fetch me some oil.
I guess the idea is just sort of, just to get properly, he said to drop by when we're willing, and I guess the idea is well,
it's 2 days until 2 days?
Tomorrow.
One day.
we could at least approach him and assist with something, give him some ideas, come away with some ideas.
Maybe there's a way we can do this without too much scrutiny.
And I said, well, I think there'll be a window this afternoon.
Well, I think there might be a window right now.
Well,
I mean, Bianca will come back before.
Bianca's not going to be gone long.
Yeah.
In
she's
fact,
just having a
Bianca.
conversation.
Bianca!
She's not gone forever.
It's
not gone
Cosimo.
that easy.
Cosimo. So, you chased Cosimo out the door.
That's it.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is
Top.
it? Where is it? There we
Yes.
go. Yeah, I'll grab him before he gets too far.
Hot on my heels as usual, Bianca.
Yeah, well, cavalier business. Didn't want to say everything in there.
So you're closing the place, right? It's a rat hole.
It is a tad messy, yes. That's not even the half of it.
To be honest, they did seem quite charming, so I can understand why you wouldn't want to.
Well, they're working on something. It could be promising.
He looks up and down the street and he's like, well, hopefully that would give them the, funds they need to improve the place.
Yes, I had a question for when you did your guild inspection. You were done so quickly.
Oh,
but
yes. You want some help, is that right?
more comparison.
Advice from a colleague, a friend.
Sure,
Yes.
colleague. Let's say, well, just out of curiosity, did you find anything weird happening in the guilds?
Oh. No. I just rubber-stamped it.
Really?
Yes.
Is that your trick to getting everything done so quickly?
Oh, only when the... You see, Bianca, it's very nice that you've been given an independent guild to assess, but it does make it a little bit harder. You see, sometimes, as you find when you do more of these, sometimes the guilds you have to assess, well, you have to assess them to pass.
Do I understand what that means?
He's just saying, like, it's a foregone conclusion, You can't actually fail them.
Right.
The right people might get the wrong idea if you do. But you'll know when that happens. But we never get the first timers on those kind of jobs,
How many have you done now?
Oh, it's probably 10 or 11.
Right, and
I started on it last year.
everything seemed great.
Oh, look, I've had one or two. Oh, one of them. Oh, my goodness. You heard about the one where they were inventing a machine that did the farm work of 3?
Yes.
Well, this other one, it was a cooking device. Do you know how many nonnas would have been out of a job?
It's true.
Oh, I
so
closed
we did it
that.
without them.
Like that. We don't need nonnas losing jobs. Screw that. Imagine, I did smell biscotti. Imagine biscotti but made without any, heart.
Hashtag
Yes,
save the
well,
nonnas.
Amelie at this guild makes delicious food. That would be horrible for her, I'm sure. Right, okay, so...
Are you kind of
Right.
asking me what, serious misconduct looks like?
No, just, I've just been feeling weird. I've just got a funny feeling. There's just something weird happening.
Oh, I
Do you ever get that?
understand. He does look a bit sickly, but he's handsome. I understand you'll be put in close quarters with someone with that kind of wild man, but
I'm
silky,
not
sexy long hair.
If you want me to talk to him on your behalf, though,
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly. He looked like you rolled out of, this part of Allegrano. But, perhaps if the guild get... We're talking about you. So, it's not that?
it's not that.
I know your cold heart has never been warm to romance, but... Maybe it is. It would be a first, perhaps?
So sad we're missing this.
Just eavesdropping through the door.
I would probably hear him.
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
I would, in fact. I'd be thrilled. But now is not the time. Look, I understand what you're saying. You have a gut feeling. That's
yes,
good.
and I just want to investigate. You know how I am. I want to do a thorough job.
You are allowed. This job that we have, it affords a massive amount. Really,
a terrifying amount of independence without scrutiny.
Yes, well, just a lot of decisions to make, really.
Yes, and no one to question them. Well, except for
Yes.
the lieutenant. But as long as you don't upset the wrong nobles, you really can't go wrong.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you tomorrow at the King's Festival.
I will
You are,
see you then.
of course, going to do something about your hair before the day, right? And then he like already
Pull my hat further
starts
down.
walking off, picking on your, because you keep talking about your disheveled All Trades Assembly hair that's just slightly off. Okay.
She'll probably wait a few seconds to compose herself again and then head back in.
All right.
Seems a little
You guys had a
grumpy.
couple of moments to finish your conversation.
So this afternoon, we speak to Libero and see how we can help.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is something we can do if we all put in.
Good luck with that. I'm going to go get ready to see my boss.
Oh, you in trouble?
No, of course not. And I'll head off and go get ready. Just not very happy.
Should we be worried?
You asking me?
Yes.
No, why?
Just the assessment and everything.
If anything, I think I'm the one who should be worried. I don't really want to be called in, you know? My hair looks awful. Of all days.
We sort of
Anyway.
look at ourselves.
I love the idea that I do love the idea that it's like pretty perfect.
Yeah.
But because Cosimo said something, you're now like, oh, it's ruined. It's terrible.
Yeah, we sort of,
She's
like,
gonna go
lean
to her
in,
room
like,
and redo it
inquisitively.
like 5 times before she goes out.
Look, just because you are assessing us, I know that this last week has not gone smoothly, but
No, it seems like I didn't see much usual guilt business.
no. But
No.
we are eager to get on with business and show you how we work.
Well, you said I was just here to observe, didn't you? Nothing to be worried about.
Of course not.
Good.
I don't think
I'll
you've
head
seen a single actual day's work in the guild yet.
No.
Keep going. I'll disappear to my room.
This afternoon? Or
Yeah.
So you ready yourself, take a little bit of time, and just before Bianca heads out, like as you leave the door, like you're literally walking out, Ilio runs up behind you and says,
Hello.
Miss Bianca,
Yes, Sir Elio.
you can't go without and then he like puts his palm out and it's kind of got that like greasy, like a little bit dirty child hand that,
Nice.
you know it's going to be sticky.
but in his hand he is holding a one of the biscotti that is taken from the kitchen.
Oh.
And he's like
Slightly melted.
It seems fine. The actual biscotti is freshly grabbed. It's just his hands are a bit gross.
Right.
And then he's like, you cannot go without morning tea.
Thank you.
Take care.
Makes a slight ripping sound if you pull it out of his hand.
And then
Be sure to have it on the way.
and then yes, he lets you go.
I give Ilya a thumbs up. That was adorable.
Just keep going. Send out the Elio. Send out the Elio.
Yeah. but
Unleash the Ilya.
Right at the heart.
Libero is just like, excellent. My plan is coming together. Okay, and not long after Bianca leaves, Dolorosa returns.
Ooh.
Did I see her on the way?
I'm gonna say no. I'm talking a good like 10 minutes after you go. Like, and it's a
Okay.
big city, and you headed in different directions. Dolorosa returns, and she looks around the group. Lorenzo, Arvin,
Yes, mistress.
Yes.
my office.
No.
Yes, mistress.
Okay.
Voice crack.
Let me just clean this. There we go.
Will no
You
day
said
be
that
normal?
I want to listen in through the door.
And you can.
Just cleaning.
I sweet.
Yeah, you just do a classic I'm cleaning near the wooden door.
yeah.
I like that.
Clean the key
Good
off.
thinking.
Cleaning her
Elmo's
desk.
like-
She leaves doorknob for 12.
Oops, it slipped up.
Yeah.
You go in the office. She closes the door. The young harpy is gone, yes?
Yes, she is.
Excellent. Well,
Harpy.
I'm not there.
yeah.
I just come flying through the window. Sword out.
on a broom.
I am flying.
Libero knows this. We're struggling. And she says it with the attitude of someone who doesn't like admitting that.
Yes, mistress.
The guild needs jobs, and it needs reputation. And you, both of you, are our brightest prospects.
Like Lorenzo, is flawed.
What an honor.
He's not saying anything, but
Mostly you are.
he's like, that's the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me.
Yeah, Lorenzo's giving crazy eyes, and I'm just looking slightly bored.
Same old.
The loss of the expensive items in the shipment have put us in a rather precarious position. However, apparently, your recent outings have garnered attention.
What kind of attention?
You do not simply walk through Allegrano covering bandages around your waist covered in blood without attracting unwanted eyes. However, this time they were wanted eyes. Some old friends of mine have connections, and Havada, I wish he had stayed. Amelie was inconsolable last night. Havada has passed on to one of his contacts an element of what happened. And a noble benefactor has offered us a job.
This is good.
It is. Any work is good right now. Any contracts for the company. But we need whatever we can take until we can build up our reputation again and secure more contractual, regular guild work. But this job is not a regular job.
It'd be fine. I don't think we've done a regular job recently, so...
I'm trying to.
Look,
It was not a comment on your efficiency, Lorenzo.
I will not order you to do this. Because I can see already you've put yourselves in harm's way, and that is not what this guild is about. But in saying that, as I have just said, any work is good work. And my old benefactor has need of talented alchemist and people with some skills in the field. So, you can head to Liatigiano della Bestia. You have should you wish, a meeting with Lord Fasto.
Eyebrows are raising at an alarming rate.
He will tell you what you need to know, but not today. There is, in much of Allegrano today, all of our attention is focused on, the King's Festival. In fact, as you well know, Libero and the laborers have been working on kites for the better part of the last 2 weeks. The only contract we've seen in a month. But at least Festival Kites is work, and it's something. So, yes, heads down, work today, but should you wish to after the King's Festival, the offer is there.
I see.
After the festival. And we learn more about what this job is at the meeting.
Yes, I have been given limited information due to the nature of it, but I was asked to confirm that I had the resources. I said I did. So you have the full guild's resources. Whoever you need, once you find out what you're doing, you represent us. If you choose to do it, do me proud.
Very well.
If you don't,
I too. We will do everything we can to raise the guild's reputation and bring in more work.
Oh, yes. That, yes.
Excellent.
Not going to pass up an opportunity to see what is in store there.
Don't get too excited, Arvin. There are things there on the shelves that I saw that, well, draw your attention for a week, but draw your
So
purse.
nod enthusiastically.
Draw your purse open and empty it for a year. More, in fact. Don't think you've earned this in your life. All right, that is all. Back to work. We have kites to make and plans to draw. You finished doing the large one for the center of the parade, right?
Almost, mistress.
Good. Well, see to it. You're like drafting the plans and then handing them to laborers, and they're doing it, and Libero is ensuring that. Yes, it's all been just this is the doldrum of your daily work that's been going on.
Yeah. And I stalk out of the room on a mission back to my study.
Okay.
You're gonna, hello.
Had some sudden extended drive.
Well, downstairs, a little bit later, there is not a knock on the door, but the door just opens and someone pops their head in. Their eyes seeking a friend.
Hey.
She's
Oh, Leone! How you doing, love?
I'm fine. How
You're
are
going to
you?
be there at the festival tomorrow, right?
You keep asking me every
And
single
you
day.
will be.
Yes, I will.
Do you know how many suitors are there? Well, make sure you and all your friends are there. I'm going to be there, well, with you, right?
Yeah. Of course.
I look forward to it. Just don't miss it, eh? I told you.
Why do you care so much?
Well,
I mean, they find it endearing. It's really cute. But I'm curious. Why do you care?
well, what? A girl like you, you.
Girl like me.
Well, you're a stranger in these lands, and I figure you might
Oh,
need a friend. And
oh.
well, I think it's kind of a big deal for us. We love the king's coronation. I know you don't have a king down in Kajet, so I figured you might like fancy seeing a king festival. And I mean, you do like to bury your head in your work, and I figured, well,
Yes.
this was the wrong day to bury your head in your work. You could have some fun.
That is very sweet. Thank you.
Not as sweet as the pies are going to be. Oh, and all the food. And she looks around, doesn't even care who can hear, and she's like, it's all free. And that's the best bit.
Yeah, Diane, looking forward to
See you
that.
tomorrow, everyone. Oh, who's that one? There's Arvin walking there. Yeah. No, actually, Lorenzo, as he's like walking out of the room.
That's Lorenzo. You should go say hi to Lorenzo.
Fight Cosimo for Arvin.
And I'm just like, this is going to be fantastic.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Lorenzo.
I hope so, my lady.
The door shuts as she heads out.
Amazing.
And what do we got? We have your meeting.
We can just fast forward through
So
that.
many
That's
social
fine.
obligations.
That's fine.
Yeah, today is just.
Yeah, we
Let's go.
just skip. She did
Can't
great.
really remember what his voice was. I think it was like a
It was like a
sexy Spanish
Spanish.
guy.
Yeah.
I am Pietro Falcone.
That's-
Yeah.
Yes. And you arrive at the office of the Lieutenant Pietro Falcone. And you're ushered in.
I hope I get trumpets like this as I walk in.
It's a
We
real.
all wish.
Announcing the Cavalier. Thank you.
Bianca.
Captain. Lieutenant.
So fast, did you get my name wrong?
Captain Lieutenant.
I was just talking to Cosimo about captains.
Is it
in my
lieutenant or
head.
lieutenant in LUCEVERA? I need to know.
It's lieutenant now because that's what I said.
It's Lieutenant.
Okay.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant sounds too English coded.
Right, tenant.
Lieutenant sounds more French.
Yeah, that's true.
So, tell me, how was your work?
Good. Busy. Lots to inspect and investigate. Yeah.
And what have you found?
Well, I told off someone for drawing artistically, so I've done that. There was some perhaps bad scaffolding that could be fixed up, but the things they're working on sound quite interesting.
So you are ready to hand in your report then?
Well, almost. You said we could have... Cavaliers could take a little while to finish their inspection. I want to do a proper job.
Of course, but I just want to make sure you're not struggling. You know, it's your first assignment
no.
like this. Okay.
Not at all.
You know I'm always here for you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. It's been very enlightening, so... Yes, no, doing well.
That is not really the only reason I brought you here.
Right, what else?
Updated intelligence about tomorrow's festival.
Okay.
So you'll be on the lookout. But if you are to find anyone who seems suspicious, we have new orders from the Crown. Anyone who is seen wearing too many haphazard colors, anyone who is wearing totems of grass or flower, they are suspicious, yes?
I see. Why is that?
We have reason to believe there's links with a kind of a cult, an uprising of faith.
I heard whisperings of such things.
Well, should you see any, the orders are a little stricter than usual, so I wanted to tell you myself.
Right, okay.
Should you apprehend them? That is fine. But you are authorized to kill them on sight.
Right, okay. Good to know.
This comes from the highest authority and will not be questioned, but you have not been tested in such a way, yes?
Well, it's the first time for everything.
I'll see that you do not hesitate.
Is it... Clearly, it's of worry to the Crown.
We cannot allow such perversions as
Yes.
faith to fester.
Oh, nonsense, right? It's just mad people.
You say
That's
that
what
as
I've
if there's any
heard.
question.
I've just heard.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
What higher power or lower power is worth prostrating your head for? No, it's all nonsense. And it is dangerous nonsense. It is the
Yes.
nonsense that burns nations. Those filthy... He like pulls down his mood. Those Seldarans have faith.
What are the Seldarans?
People from the Republic of Seldaris.
They're the ones who had
Invaded,
the war?
yeah.
Yeah.
And you see what that brought.
Of course, we don't want anything like that again.
No. No faith, no nonsense. So if you see them and you cannot capture them, kill them and stamp out the silliness.
And do you want reports on this? Or you're just... us Cavaliers will just do our job and move on?
As expected. You are nobles. So,
Just checking because it was a special circumstance.
in fact, I'd say the less paperwork on this one, the better.
Understood.
So, I trust that won't be a problem.
None will escape.
Well, good. That sets an older man's mind at ease.
He's not old at all. He's like 30. He's like 36.
Good luck.
I will see you tomorrow.
Now, when you are ready to turn in your report, I look forward to reading it. The Old Trades Assembly. Can't wait to find out what they've been up to.
Yes, well, lots of different trades to evaluate, so yes. Until tomorrow,
See you on the streets.
I will head out.
And we will head out. Boom! Because it's the end of the session, the end of the episode. It's the end of the moment.
That was so fun.
That was a lot of words.
It was really
This does work.
fun to watch you interact with what's his name?
Cosimo.
No, this guy.
Falcone?
Pietro.
Pietro.
Lieutenant
Why?
Falcone.
Well, just because of the juxtaposition between now and episode 1, where in episode 1 it was like, I am doing my job, I will do anything else. And clear, it's just like, I can see.
She doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's just like, I am seeing there's so much more here than I can fit in a report, or maybe even should put in a report.
Yeah.
And maybe these people aren't the ones to shut down because they're capable of maybe dealing with it. But
Meanwhile, getting the Emperor
Yeah.
Palpatine orders, and he wipe them out.
Are they gonna take my job because I
it's
didn't
literally
wipe them
like,
out before?
Kill people who are too colourful with lots of flowers.
Yep.
Good luck when you see like a mother and child. Like,
Too many colours for us.
oh boy.
I mean, I will cover. I probably didn't convey that quite irregular and
Yeah.
odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the kind of people that are wearing like crazy dyes, like all like weird for the culture. Obviously, there'll be people with some flowers. There'll be people with colorful clothes. But the crazy
Things
cultist
about to
shit
get
that you
dark.
saw, that's what we're talking about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you to our
Thanks for
patrons.
coming.
Which ones?
Supporting us.
All of them.
Yeah.
Even that one?
Yeah, especially.
Of course that one.
Especially that one.
Oh, okay.
He
All
just
right.
pointed it
Yeah,
down.
well,
Pointing at that.
all
I,
right.
honestly, well done for all the voices and the way
my
you. There was a
God.
lot
Getting
you were
back
trying
into
to today.
Don't compare them between episodes.
no.
It's been, I went to Norway.
It felt like we never left.
It's alright.
Okay,
I
so
went
amazing.
Aussie.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching. Bye.
Goodbye.
But